Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome back. We are going to play with some blush today. I was able to find these beautiful new Milani blush palettes. I found them at Walgreens. They are now available online at Milani's website, and you can use the code GETITNOW. I used it in all caps just in case, all one word, no spaces, get it now. And it'll save you 20% on your order, but you do have to spend at least $25. Don't worry, I'll put all this stuff in the description box so you don't have to take notes while you're watching the video. All right. I was curious, and I'm sure you guys were as well, if any of these shades are similar to their individuals, because these new blush palettes have no names on the back of them. It just tells you the name of the palette and the size. It's a total of 0.42 ounces or 12 grams of blush in here. So this entire palette is actually smaller than an individual blush. An individual blush has 0.60 ounces or 17 grams. These things are enormous. So these are $13. I can't remember how much individuals are. I want to say probably about the same, maybe a tad less. So it is a better value to buy the individuals, but you get more color choices in this, and these are some really, really, really nice colors. Now, I do prefer one palette to the other, but we'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, like I said, I was curious to see if there were any color repeats, because that was everyone's, biggest question. What are the shades? So I have both of my arms swatched up, and I took a bunch of pics and stuff so I can post them on Instagram as well. And I decided to leave them this way and do the video because I've never done a video like this, so I'm not really quite sure how to, approach it. So we're just gonna wing it, all right? I swatched, oh my gosh, did I forget? Hold on. Palette 1 is on this, on my left. This is my left, probably opposite for you. And then palette 2 is on my right. And don't worry, I'm going to stand up and tell you and show you, and we're going to go through everything. Now, I was going to, I don't know, should I just tell you now or make you wait till the end? The only thing is some of these individual blushes are not available anymore. They were limited edition, and I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally show you limited edition things you can't get anymore in case you fall in love with the color, because, I'd feel bad. But in case you were able to purchase them and you were curious, I included them in the video. 7 individuals. There were some shades that came close, but it wasn't quite there. Some of the blushes have shimmer in them, and some are matte. Same for the individuals. So I guess let's just get on to the swatches. The blush shades are big. This, and you can hardly see this. It's actually almost like a highlighter. I think for most skin tones it will be a highlighter, except for if you're very fair. It does have a pink undertone to it, so if you're super duper fair, it'll probably show up as a baby pink with a little bit of gold. And this is palette 1. So the first shade is this, the middle shade is this big one, this last shade is that one. Now, palette 1 is called Flowers of Love. I did have a little bit of trouble swatching this. You can see the patchiness here in my swatch. The middle shade really gave me some trouble. It actually almost started to get hard pan, and I had to scratch it a little to get it off. I don't know if you can see my scratch marks in there. So for me to build up this middle shade, I can't even tell you, I know this is 5 or more layers. I want to say closer to 10 to get this kind of pigmentation, because I wanted it to show up so you could see it. It's a really super duper light color. Sometimes things don't swatch well, but they apply well. We are going to apply some at the end when I'm done showing you these swatches. So At the top here, I did it twice. I don't know why. One above each shade. This is called American Beauty Rose. American Beauty Rose has a touch of shimmer in it. It looks like it might be close to this end shade in palette 1. But the difference would be the shimmer, and this individual American Beauty Rose, the texture of it is much more intense, much more pigmented, where I only barely had to touch it to make this swatch, where this I had to build quite a bit. This swatch right here is Tea Rose. Not even, you know, I mean, it's a little bit darker than this. And then down here is Romantic Rose. This has a lot more brown in it, quite a bit of a brown undertone. And then here, one on each side. I wanted to do it that way because you know, to get a better comparison. That would be Flora. Flora, again, looks like it might be close to this shade. In person, I don't know if it comes through on camera. Flora is more pink, where the palette shade has a lot more red in it. So it's not exact. So Flora, I believe, was a limited edition blush. So if you missed out on Flora, you're kind of sort of getting it in this palette. But as you can see, there's nothing in here that is a total exact dupe. So you are going to get 3 shades that you've never had before. We have some like get close, but you know, no cigar here. So that's blush palette 1, Flowers of Love. Alright, this is palette 2, Floral Fantasy. Trying to be all nifty and fit it both in. There we go. Alright, so again, the super big ones are the palette, because I did them and spaced them out like that so I could make smaller swatches, smaller swatches in between to do the comparison. So that's why they're so big and spread out like that. It would help if I didn't block my own light, wouldn't it? The first shade in the palette is a really light peachy shade. This little divot right here is Coral Cove. And as you can see, it's much more bright, much more neon. I mean, we're not even in the same color family here. Then, ooh, that was a smart idea, wasn't it? Let's kick the camera. This is like such a fucked up video, isn't it? Oh my god. Alright, the last 2 shades in this palette, I really like them because they have some shimmer in them. Very fine, like little bits of satiny shimmer. There's no chunks of glitter. It's just really a really pretty sheen is built into them. You might even be able to see it in the palette. Let me open it. Let me open it. That would be a good idea. I don't know if it comes through these last 2 shades, but they have a little extra yumminess in them. So the only 2 blushes that I have, oh, can I get the, it would be good if you could see my arm. The only 2 blushes that I have, individual ones that have any shimmer in them, are American Beauty Rose here on top and Blossom Time, which is down here on the bottom. As you can see, definitely this last shade, it's not happening. This is like a bronzy red. And this, you know what? You guys know I'm terrible at describing color. It's like a nudie blush with like a nude pinky brown with that little bit of shimmer in there. And there's nothing. Like if I hold this arm up with it, and you can see both arms, and look at, oh, hold on. Can I turn my arm any, so you can, like if I hold all these shades together, there's nothing even in the individuals that I swatched on this arm. It's not even going to come close. Even though this bottom shade here from the first palette I did, which was Romantic Rose, it has a brown undertone on it. A brown undertone in it. Wow. It comes close, but what's missing is the shimmer. Here is Romantic Rose. It has the brown in it, the brown undertone. So we'll swatch it right there. So even though it's has a brown tone when you compare it to the other blushes, it's just a totally different shade altogether. And like I said, it's missing the shimmer. So that's that as far as, sorry, let me wipe that off. So that's that as far as swatches, comparing. My goodness, I am a hot freaking mess. I can't even get stuff in frame. I'm so fired for this video. This is like the suckiest video ever. If you buy either palette, I think you'll be happy. You won't have any repeats. But let's talk about individual quality of these palettes. When I was swatching blush palette 1, I had a lot of trouble with the middle color. It, like I said, I had to scratch at it because it started to get hard pan. And usually Milani blushes, these rose blushes, they're really pigmented, they're easy to work with. Texture, when you touch them, some are softer, some are rougher, but either way they still go on. Some of them that have a more dry feel, they do kick up a little bit, but it's not usually a big deal. They're still great blushes to work with. The pigmentation, the staying power is great. But we're gonna apply this middle shade out of blush palette 1 because, excuse me, we're gonna apply it because it swatched so terribly on my arm, so I'm hoping that application is better than swatching. I just have an angled, this is a goat hair brush, and usually when I have difficult formulas, I like this brush. It can pick up almost anything, so we're going to try it out. So I'm dipping in here a little. It seems like it's picking up, so hopefully it'll apply nicely. The only thing I'm worried about is it's going to be too light of a color for me. But, oh, no, it's not. All right. Yay, I am happy because it's swatched freaking disgustingly. So it applies nice. This would be good just if you want just a little touch on your cheeks, if you're maybe doing a smoky eye and you need a neutral, you know, just light touch blush. My favorite shade out of blush palette 1 is this because it's really not a blush. To me, it looks like a highlighter. So we're going to apply it as one. When you look at it in the pan, it just looks kind of beige and it has like a little shift of pink in it. The more you get in there, the pink really starts coming out. So I just, ooh, wow. Holy moly, this has a bit of kick up. I didn't even barely touch this thing. I mean, it definitely is pigmented, and it's the texture on this last shade, on that light shade, is super, super soft compared to the others. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of a mess. Let me shake some, tap some of this off. So let's see how this goes on. It's subtle. It's really, really subtle. The pink almost doesn't come through now. It's on my skin tone. I see a lot of gold. But it applies nicely, it blends nicely. And like I said, it looks like a gold highlighter, a warm gold highlighter. The other blush palette, as far as swatching it, I was just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's the last two shades that have the shimmer in them. They applied and swatched so beautifully. They glided on so nicely. And I have a feeling they'll apply the same way. So let's pick one. I'm going to pick the middle one because it's lighter. I don't even know if I could pull off the darker shade. I'm actually a little nervous because blush palette 2 is pretty pigmented. So I'm just going to lightly tap into the middle shade. See, it doesn't take much. Make sure I'm in frame for once. Oh, don't let me down now. This again is like a nude, almost like a nude blush with some sheen on it. I think it would make your skin, like if you're going for that, just, you want to glow and have a glowing blush. This is that blush. On my skin tone, it's not as, the color doesn't show up as much as I thought it would. Trying to make sure you're seeing. So I'm having to build up quite a bit, but there's definitely at least some glow on my face. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go into the deeper shade and just tread lightly and see what we get. It's like a burnt terracotta rose. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it's not as dark as I thought it was going to be, but you could easily turn into clown face with this if you go too deep, go too heavy. This has quite a bit of a gold sheen on it. Now, I didn't prep my skin, you know, primer, blah, blah, blah. I just have on a little powder, you know, Glam Glow and powder. I have no makeup on my face, as you can see. You guys have seen me without any makeup. I have no shame in my game, so I'm alright with it. So, because I did not properly prep my skin and do all the things that you need to do, it is showing a little bit of my enlarged pores, but nothing extraordinary, nothing that bad. If you do the proper prep work, I think you'll be fine. So, if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be Blush Palette 2. Blush Palette 1 isn't bad, it's just a little finicky. I'm going to see if I can swatch this shade, the red shade right here that was patchy. I'm going to apply it, I don't know where, because I don't have anywhere left. And I'm certainly not putting blush on my forehead. We'll just add it to what I already got going. Maybe we'll just do it towards like a contour. Do it towards the back and bring it up front. Now, that applies nice. Alright, so good. See, swatches can be deceiving. Just because something doesn't swatch well doesn't mean it's going to apply badly. It is a red-pink type of blush. So I know I'm totally applying it to like a wrong place. This is more about, I want you to see the color and application. Alright, I think I have adequately rambled about these Milani blush palettes. I think they are a go. If you can, grab them both. Attached to the display is a coupon to save $5 when you spend $15. It only works at Walgreens. And there's also 2 face oils in the display. I did pick up the rose one. I need to use it a little bit more before I can give you my thoughts on that. You don't have to worry about repeat shades. You're good to go. So we got, 2 thumbs up here. Where's the corny emoji? Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you have an amazing day.